Ritorni mi sembra inverno, il sole è basso, il mio sguardo perso, un saluto, un bacio lieve come seta.
Welcome to this installment of HatChic. I've had so many students say they've had trouble blocking. In this segment, I'm going to show you how to make spinners and flange stands that will help you in the blocking process. You ask, what is a spinner? These are spinners here, and they help you in blocking crowns. When you put a block on here, it will raise it up so that you have more strength when you're blocking, and you can also move it around 360 degrees so that it'll help you as you're going along blocking. As you can see, the dowels are all different sizes, so that's what make it really exciting for you. If you want to make your own, you can make them to fit each block that has a different hole in the bottom. Alright, let's look at flange stands. Now you ask, why would I want to make a flange stand? Well, it's going to help you in blocking your brims. This is a vintage one, and you can see what they used to look like, and they would place the block on here. This one is a piece of artwork besides being able to use it when you're blocking the brims. And this is one that we're going to make. I'm going to show you how to do today. Now when you're blocking the brim, it's going to raise it up and it's going to make it easier for blocking. I'm going to show you how to do both of these, the spinner and the flange stand, so let's get started. Let's go over the supplies that we're going to need to make a spinner and a flange stand. A 2x4, or 4x4, sorry, this is a 4x4. You're going to need this, and when I went to the lumber yard, I had them cut this for me. And I found that they'll only cut them 12 inches. That's the shortest that they'll cut them. I actually prefer this to be around 8 inches, but we're going to make it work with 12 inches, and that way you don't have to do anything. And that is for the spinner. Now for the flange stand, you're going to need, these are 2x4s, and you're going to need 2 pieces that are 5 inches. Now when I went to the lumber yard, they cut it 12 inches, so when I came home I had to get my saw and my miter box out and cut these 5 inches. I sawed them. This is a 1x4, and it's 2 feet in length, and when I went to the lumber yard they cut this for me so I didn't have to do anything. You're going to need 2 different size dowels. This one is 3/8 of an inch and this one is 3/4 of an inch. The 3/8 of an inch, you're going to need 2 of these to put in your flange stands. You're going to need 3 inches of the 3/4 of an inch, and that's going to be for the spinner over here. We need a drill, and whenever you use a drill, you need to remember to always have safety goggles. You're going to need 2 drill bits. These are wood drill bits, 3/8 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch. You're going to need wood screws. And this is number 8, and they're 1.5 inches long, and you're going to need 4 of these for us to make our flange stand. Now when you use wood screws, you can either screw them in with a screwdriver, or you can have a Phillips head drill bit. Also, we're going to use a 1-inch drill bit to put in first, to put our wood screws in. This is going to make it a lot easier to use these. So make sure that you have one of these 1-inch drill bit. You're going to need a pencil because we're going to be doing measurements. And how do you make the measurements? Obviously you're going to need a tape measure. So these are the two primary things that you're going to need for us to get started. Also, you're going to need sandpaper. And so you'll cut off a little bit of sandpaper, and then we will, wherever we've made wood cuts, we're going to use the sandpaper to smooth it so that it's not rough and we don't hurt ourselves. Also, we're going to need wood glue, and we're going to use the wood glue to put the dowels in here. We'll put the 3/8 of an inch in the flange stand, and then we will put the 3/4 of an inch over here. We'll put the glue in there before we put the dowel in. These are all the supplies that you need to get started. So let's get started with the spinner. We're going to start off with our 4x4 piece. And as I mentioned before, this is 12 inches in length because that's the shortest that they'll cut it at the lumber yard that I go to. What I'm going to do is measure with my measuring tape the middle part here. And this is where we're going to drill our 3/4 of an inch hole that we'll put our dowel in. Now, I've put my 3/4 of an inch drill bit in here, in my drill. And the next thing I want to do is put my safety goggles on. And I like to use a vise. Now, what I would recommend is if you don't have a vise to use, that you use a friend to come and help you steady it so that as you're drilling that it will not go anywhere on you. So I've got this in here now, and I'm going to make it nice and tight. And if you don't have a vise, have somebody come and help you. Now we're all set here, and I'm going to put this in here, and we're going to go down approximately 1 inch. And there is our 1 inch hole. It's going down 1 inch, and we're going to take our dowel that's 3/4 of an inch, and it's 3 inches in length. So we're going to take this. Now, you can use the wood glue in here, but what I'm seeing here is that this is a real tight squeeze, so I'm going to just hammer it in here. I don't even think I need to use the wood glue. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of sandpaper and sandpaper at the top of this so it's nice and smooth. Take this out, and I'm going to place it down here. You can see that fit in there really nicely. So we're going to take a crown block, put it on there, and you can see you can go around 360 degrees. You have more room for blocking, which will give you more strength as you're raised up. And each time you need to make one of these, you might have to use a different size dowel depending on the bottom of your block. They do not make these all the same size. So, but this is the majority of them are the 3/4 of an inch. Alrighty, here's your spinner. Are you excited? Now what we need is a seal of approval from Lamb Chop. Lamb Chop, come on in and give us your seal of approval. Come on, Lamb Chop. Aww. If you enjoyed this video today and would like more information on hat making, I teach at San Diego Mesa College or continuing education here. Or if you don't live in San Diego, you can come to my website, www.dianacavagnaro.com, and I have different videos that you can download or you can buy the DVD. So visit me there and learn more about hat making, and I hope you'll have as much fun as I do in making a hat every day.